What's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles. You are listening to Lyles Movie Files. It's been forever since we have gotten back together and done this thing, so I'm excited to do the show. Had all kinds of crazy life stuff happening, but we're back, hopefully bigger and better than ever. We're going to talk about The Walking Dead. We're going to talk Disney Plus, which apparently everyone has signed up for with 10 million people subscribing on opening day. It's kind of crazy. That would be a big blockbuster, another Disney-sized blockbuster opening if it was a movie. And we're going to talk about a few big things that have happened, sprung up in Hollywood over these last couple of days. So, joining me, as always, little brother Jace. How are you?
I'm good.
Chief, what's going on with you?
Oh man, everything is everything. I'm just trying to make it through. Every day's a holiday. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, that holiday is one that my job doesn't recognize, and I got to work. So yeah, what are you gonna do, right?
What are you going to do? Jay King, what's shaking with you?
Man, I'm cooling, man. Hey, piggyback on Chief's statement. Every day is the holidays right now as we get ready for them, anticipating, kids' gifts and turkeys and beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lambs, yams, you name it. We got it. At least we'll have it come the 28th of November.
Sweet. I will be over on the 29th of November on my Black Friday break. Like, hey, what's up? Heard you got some leftovers over here. So let's talk about Disney Plus. This is potentially the Netflix killer for a lot of people. It is pretty much everything Disney, all the Fox stuff, and Pixar, so much more. I got it on opening day, like so many other people, and was just scrolling through, like, oh my gosh, they've got so much stuff. And I know we've talked about it, and we broke down kind of what it had, but man, actually scrolling through and seeing all the stuff in that Netflix format, it was pretty impressive. I mean, you could just spend months catching up on shows like, just if you were in the Star Wars corner, you could watch all of Clone Wars, all of Rebels. They have the new show Resistance. They've got a bunch of the Lego Star Wars shows, specials, everything in between. They've got all the movies, and it's just like, wow, there's so much. And then if you swing over to the Marvel corner, there's even more. We've got all the old school cartoons like Spider-Man from the 70s, Spider-Woman from the 70s, Spider-Man and his amazing friends, and every other version of the Spider-Man cartoon series you could possibly ask for. It's got Iron Man shows, Fantastic Fours, X-Men, like all three or four versions of that. There's so much stuff, and I'm just like, wow, what am I going to watch first? And then they've got all the Disney classic cartoons, DuckTales, Darkwing Duck, Tailspin, etc. And then they've got this Mickey Mouse Through the Ages thing where you can watch all of the original things like Steamboat Willie all the way to the more current movies. And I'm curious what you guys think about this, but unlike some other, other networks and other kind of presentations of stuff, Disney didn't just decide to scrub their offensive material from back in the day. They instead put up a disclaimer saying basically, hey, this stuff was around before y'all became too PC. And some stuff is a little racist and some stuff is really racist. And we're just not changing it. We're just, hey, we're giving you a heads up. You may be offended by some of this stuff, but this is how it was. We're not editing it out. I'm curious, what do you guys think about that?
I love it. Hey, give us Song of the South. Give us the incredibly entertaining then, but incredibly offensive now. We are Siamese, if you please. Da-doo-doo-doo. Give it to us. We're big. We can handle it. We can take it.
I
I mean,
kind of feel like that's the way to go. I mean, it's like, let's not act like it didn't happen. It did.
yeah, it
Say,
happened.
hey, listen, this is going to be offensive looking at it through the 2009 prism,
hmm I mean,
2019 prism.
yeah, and exactly, Jeff. You can't ignore what your past is. I mean, that led us to get to the uber PC sensitive culture that we have today, because this was the standard of entertainment at a time before. Things changed. The public consensus changed. The public consensus changed. or consensus. I'm sorry. It changed, and that's what will happen. It has to happen. The world changes every 10 years or so, and this is something that folks of our generation remember. But it was a different time then. It was acceptable, and only to a degree. Not, I'm not going to say totally acceptable, but we knew what it was. But this is what entertainment was then, also. So for a new generation to see these things, it helps to shed some light on also why things are offensive or why this is offensive. And, maybe it opens up some dialogue, and maybe there's a lessons learned here for Disney and the public as well, the viewing public as well. But overall, I say you don't ignore your past. You say, hey, look, this was a different time, and this was entertainment then, and we've changed, and help us, continue to be the catalyst of change. So, yeah, embrace it. My only thing is just talk about the Simpsons and the way they've edited. I've heard something about that, the way they've edited the Simpsons, the old episodes, where they're cutting
Also,
out the visual gags. What's that about?
What do you
I
mean?
haven't heard that.
Yeah.
I read something about the box format, the like letterbox format that they're showing the Simpsons in, is cutting away a lot of the visual gags, the whole
Uh,
shots, the whole scenes from episodes of the Simpsons, and that's affecting the viewer's experience, obviously, because if I'm trying to think of some
so the
like
ratio isn't right.
right, the ratio isn't right. So like
Uh,
if you're watching the episode where Homer says I'm a white male ages 18 through 49, everything I think matters, and they show nuts and gum sitting on the refrigerator together at last, if you miss that, then you kind of lost the joke, right? So I think
Yeah.
that's the issue right there.
gotcha. That's interesting. I hadn't heard. I know they had a lot of initial launch day issues where people kept crashing on folks. I didn't have that problem, but of course I started watching it like midnight, so it was not a concern for me because I guess half the people were getting ready for work the next day, like they should on a Wednesday. Unlike me, who's just decided I'll start watching it super late. Um, the big news, I mean, I guess the big thing for a lot of people outside of this crazy archival, you can just get lost in that universe for months, was the debut of The Mandalorian. This is the first original. I guess this is probably the showcase, the 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 main selling point for people who want original content right now on Disney Plus. We know there's a slew of Marvel stuff coming, but right now it's just The Mandalorian in terms of like the Star Wars Marvel target audience. And they had the first episode, and to me, it was really a Star Wars set in a Rogue One kind of universe where it had that kind of grimy, old school Star Wars slash New Hope visual. Just been there for a long time, and it's just kind of, it is what it is. There's dust and dirt, and there's a sense of anything could happen because there's no connection to the Skywalkers. Um, Everything's fair game. Characters can get killed in a moment's notice, and it's just opening up this whole new realm of the Star Wars universe. So to me, this is definitely in the Rogue One solo camp of the Disney version of Star Wars, where like I feel like there's the great divide of, hey, Rogue One was an awesome movie, Solo was really good for what it was, and then we've got the sequel trilogies that are trying to piggyback on the success of the original trilogy. Chief, you watched The Mandalorian without going into spoilers for Jason Javon. What did you think about it?
Oh, it was pretty good. The first episode was pretty good. It was well shot. It was a good episode. And I think my only problem with The Mandalorian is still going to be my problem that I have with this thing Netflix started up, which is the piecing out of shows one at a time. And so I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and I was like, yeah, they're going to. I said, if I want to binge watch a show, I said I should be able to. And he said, well, you can't binge watch a show on TV. And I said, well, in a sense, I don't pay for TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
if I'm giving my money to watch this product, that you know what I mean, to watch something, or to a service, why are you now going to treat me like a TV show? Like, I'm paying for this. I'm paying for this content. So why are you making me wait? I should be able to watch the content all at once
I
if I
think
feel
what
like it.
they're doing is kind of like the DC Universe model, where they don't want somebody to come in and binge everything and then cancel it within 7 days or a month. So for everybody that's signing up right now, you can get a 7 day free trial of the service. You just have to remember on the eighth day, I guess, to cancel it if you don't want to keep it. So for them, it's more of a, you're not going to watch all the episodes of The Mandalorian in 7 days and then be like, I'm done. There's nothing else new for me. And because they don't have this huge rollout of Marvel and Star Wars, and, Pixar, Disney
Well,
shows for people to watch, it's kind of better
well,
in that sense because, I mean, if you were to watch all The Mandalorian, would you be watching a bunch of Disney Plus next month?
this is the thing. Here's my second argument.
Okay.
Now, Disney's been talking about this for over a year, right?
Yeah, basically. Yep.
Why the hell didn't they come out with more content? So if you're saying that if Disney said, "Hey, we want you to pay to see our shows," when they dropped, there should have been. This is how Disney should have done it. There should have been a new Luke Cage or new Daredevil or a new whatchamacallit out, right? The
Oh,
Mandalorian should have been out.
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have been upset if they had a Marvel show and a Star Wars
Well,
show coming
well,
out
that's what I'm
around the
saying.
same time.
But they
Yeah.
should when they dropped this, they should have dropped several different platforms that you could watch from and pick from. You know what I mean? Because what happens then is this: if they're dropping content like that, and you're saying, "Oh shoot, man, these guys you're not going to cancel your subscription because you can't wait to see what next month brings." You understand what I'm saying? You've been advertising this thing for over a year coming to us. And this is what I was disappointed in the fact. I like The Mandalorian, don't get me wrong. It was a great episode. I can't wait for the rest of the season to begin.
Mm.
But then I struggle looking for other content, original content. Hell, I can go to my Amazon Prime and watch most of the Marvel movies because I've already bought and paid for them.
Mm-hmm.
So for you to bring them, that's not new to me. That's not great to me. I've already bought those. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
As far as the kids shows, hell, that'd be great if I had kids, but I don't have kids. So now we're talking about you brought out a whole platform with basically one new show on it. And I'm saying, hey, you've had time to throw several new things together. The minute you took away the Netflix, the Marvel stuff from Netflix, is the time you could have been working on them.
Well, the
And you could have
interesting
rolled
thing
out a
is
whole.
they've still got some of those on there, so they can't get rid of. So, like, if you click on to Infinity War, it goes, due to licensing, this title won't be available until June 2020, and the same deal with Ant-Man and the Wasp. So there's some stuff that's still on Netflix that they have a deal that they have to stick by, and so some stuff, and it's kind of weird being able to watch Avengers Endgame and Captain Marvel, but not being able to watch Infinity War.
But that's my point. So, like, then you should have. There's other stuff that you could have. Like I said, you canceled the Netflix joints. You made them cancel the shows they put together, the Marvel shows they put together.
Mm-hmm.
And I was, and so I'm just saying that there was what, Jessica Jones. There was the Iron Fist that got good. The second season was really
Right.
good.
Punisher and Daredevil.
Right, Punisher, Daredevil. You could have brought any one of those shows out. You could have brought any one of those shows out. Plus, if you're talking about Disney, there's a whole host of movies missing from Disney,
Mm-hmm.
right? I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
let's be honest. This is not all their stuff. There's a whole host of Disney movies missing. So all I'm saying is, for the $70, and the same thing with DC. Same thing with DC. Like you saying, catch up on Titans. So I caught up on Titans. Then I realized, I said, oh shoot, they piecing these joints out. So now I'm caught up. But now I've got to wait like the rest of us now. We wait until next week or whenever these new episodes drop.
Every Friday.
And I'm like, yo, we've paid for this service. This isn't TV. I shouldn't have to wait for I shouldn't have to wait 14 weeks to watch the whole damn thing if I choose not to.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you. So, Javon, I'm going to ask you a question. You got kids. Does the service have more appeal to you, being able to not have to worry so much about, hey, I need some original content just for me, but having something where you can go, hey, girls, watch this classic Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers. Watch all 5 seasons of that. Exactly.
Yes and no. And I say that because really, I find that with kids today, they're a mixed bag. It's like kids of any era. Like we came up on Merry Melodies, Flintstones, all these things that were before our time, right? And the same thing can be said about today's kid. They'll watch, like, for example, what is it? The Nickelodeon shows that were out during the '90s, like Doug, and they love what is it? The Rugrats. They love Football Head, Hey Arnold, stuff like that, right? Rescue Rangers and Darkwing Duck and Tailspin and all that kind of those shows. Maybe they go discovering it on their own. It's a bonus, but it's not a selling point, right? The true selling point I find is the Marvel points for kids. The Marvel movies or the Disney movies that they've known and loved during their lifetime, which is The Incredibles and The Incredibles 2 and Frozen and Zootopia and the movies that have come out over this last 10, 15, 20 years that are in heavy rotation still, unlike, let's say, something like The Rescuers or Bambi, which is kind of past them. That's before their time. And unless you as a parent are showing them these things, they really don't have much of an interest in that. They'll watch it, if it's on, but that's not their go-to. I think the newer content is really the selling point because it's what they're familiar with.
I got you. That makes sense. So, Jakes, what are you holding out on, man? What's the delay for you?
I just really trying to find some time to watch it because I think after the podcast is over, I will be downloading it and trying to figure out how many devices I can put this thing on so I can sit back and watch it.
I think I read 4. I haven't reached whatever cap is on mine already. Put it on my PS4, of course, and I assume I need to put it on the PS3. And and the phone, of course. So while I'm stuck waiting in the line, I can tune on to some X-Men and jump ahead to the Dark Phoenix saga, which is the best interpretation of it outside of the comic books.
Well,
it's pretty cool.
Well, I just want to go back to like what you and Chief were talking about. It's like the reason why they do. I mean, not just. I mean, from a business model standpoint, like you made the best points. Like when you got a free trial, you don't want them to be able to binge watch the whole thing, especially if it's your only new content. But because like DC, like the DC universe, I don't look at that 5 times a day. But because I know Titans comes out on Friday, I'm gonna watch Titans on Friday, and then I might watch another movie. But if it all came out at the same time, I might, like even with Young Justice, like I'd sit there and watch the 3 episodes, and then I wouldn't go to other programming. But because I already have the app on, it's like, well, let me go watch Red Hood just because I mean it's a great movie. I want to watch it again. And if you don't have even like the Disney Plus, I mean, it's like it's got such a great universe of stuff. It's like, so if you can watch the Mandalorian thing, like you said, you can go from there. Like I would go to watching Gargoyles, and then like I'm done with Gargoyles. I watch an hour. That's like too ridiculous. Then I can go to other continuous programs. Like then I might just want to watch a Pixar movie, and you can just stay in that nice long rabbit hole versus I'm staying here for Mandalorian. Once that 6 episodes up, I might not come back to it until the next new programming is available.
Yeah, now the one thing the DC Universe does that I think is pretty good is you have access to all of the, I mean, not all, but you have access to so many comic books too. And if you haven't read them, it's a really nice additional feature that you don't get on the Disney Plus app. And their shows are kind of timed, so when one ends, another one's already started, or another one's on the way, like coming out that next week. I don't know if you guys have seen the Harley Quinn trailer for this coming after the end of Titans. Have you guys seen it?
I haven't watched the trailer, but I also think about it. Like once Doom Patrol was out, what was it? Swamp Thing was about to come on, but again they canceled it already back before the first episode. So it was like, oh, this is anticlimactic. Now we gotta accelerate what we had planned and move that up a little further.
No, they ran all the episodes of Swamp Thing, and then after it, Titans came up. It was just we knew there wasn't gonna be a second season of it.
Oh, okay. I thought it was basic. Well, so Swamp Thing started kind of when Doom Patrol, or was it Young Justice was about to wrap up theirs?
Probably Young Justice. So it had like 10 episodes, and then after that, Titans was back up. Now, speaking of, since we kind of transitioned into it, let's talk about Titans and DC Universe. Titans, we don't have to worry. We don't have to do this Netflix thing. We know that DC Universe has renewed Titans for season 3. Chief, I want to hear from you since you have been valiantly catching up on this show. What do you think of Titans so far, from where you were to where you are now, caught up like Jason?
The Titans is a good show. I mean, I like the fact that they don't have censors on them. Like, you know how like we watch some of these shows or whatever, we watch these superhero shows, and you know they're all, you know, doggone it, you know. I like the fact that there's no censor. They can actually say what people would probably say in real life. So that's fine with me as far as, you know, that's concerned. And the Titans, you know, they've got a good storyline going. Plus, you got to pay attention because they'll go back in the past to bring you to the future a lot of times during this season. But you know, so far so good. Like I said, it's been good enough where I was like, yo, that's it. I gotta wait. So, you know, and you know, I hear you, Jace, on the content, but I just think that when you're paying for a service, you know, I can't argue with DC universe, free DC universe. They put out the Titans like they do right now, or such and such. I just think that when you're paying for a service or something like that, I just feel like there should be, and not just comic books. I understand that you guys, well, we can go to comic books and things like that, but I just think there should be more content, like, for us to go to at times. Like imagine if Netflix pieced out one show at a time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's something always dropping new on Netflix. That's why people don't get rid of Netflix, because there's always something going on Netflix. You know, they've got original programming and things like that. But I just wish that if you're paying for a service, I just think that they should give you services. I don't think that one show at a time is going to work. I mean, so right now, you watch the season of Doom Patrol, or because they canceled the Swamp, and then they're canceling shows already. So you watch a season of something, and that's your season. Like, that's it. So, like, yeah, like, oh, so how long? that always annoys me. So, because you get into a show, you might like a show, and then they've gotten rid of it. And a lot of times they've gotten rid of it without an ending. Like, even if you're paying for a subscription and they're going to cancel the show, at least give you a four show wrap up or something. Like, just I don't know. I think that we pay for things nowadays and we don't get enough in return for our money. And I get it that, you can read comic books, but I'm not necessarily going to sit in the house and read a comic all day. I don't like, I don't know. I watch a movie or something like that or shows, but I don't know. So anyways, yeah. So, like I said, the Titans has been great so far this season, right? And I've enjoyed the episodes. I wish DC, in between DC Universe, kept me on there because, like I said, you guys, you reading the comic book, yeah, but what really draws you back? Every Friday you go watch another episode. And then after you finish that episode, you may watch Crisis again, but you wait until next Friday. So, in essence, you're spending like $70 a year for, 52 Fridays? I don't know. Is that, I mean,
that's like $1 per week almost. So that's a good investment.
Yeah, but is it? Is it?
You are not sold. You're like, my 7 days are up. I'm out of here.
Right. So you got 7 days. You got 7 days to wait, and that's 52 Fridays if it's a show you like.
Well, you could wait. I mean, you could wait until it's done.
No, hear me out. So I said 52 Fridays, but Titans generally is not 52 episodes. So
right, but I'm saying you could wait 13 weeks, and then week 14 you can watch it. You could binge. You could still have that binge viewing experience.
Okay, but what if the next show that comes out you're not interested in, Jeff? Then what happens? Then what happens? You just read comic books for the rest of the season till whatever you like comes back. That's what I'm saying. They need more content. That's my point. So if after the 14 weeks, then what? You're gonna search for comic books? Are they making like
you could watch some of their old archive movies? I don't know. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you in terms of they need more content. I just kind of think that they're never going to do like we kind of want in terms of having a constant flow of like new shows, like 5 new shows at the same time. I just don't think that's how that model is going to work.
Yeah, I mean, it may not, Jeff. That's just how I feel about it. It needs to be more.
I will say that Disney has me excited with theirs because of so much Marvel stuff they've announced is coming around the corner. I mean, we got we got the Falcon and Winter Soldier, got Vision, WandaVision. They're eventually going to have a She-Hulk, Moon Knight show on there too. I mean, there's so much stuff they have lined up that
I can't wait. What if? The What If is what I'm waiting for.
Oh yeah,
I love What If.
Yeah, me too, man. That was a great series. So I'm really curious to see what they do with that, taking a spin on the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So that's gonna be fun. Yeah, so it's good stuff. I think it's going to be one of those deals where if like you're not as impatient as me, you can probably experience it better waiting a few months before, while they have more stuff that kind of stocks up on there. But I think over the course of this year, so by November 2020, we'll be like, oh man, they had so much good stuff. Yeah, I'll throw in another $70 for this, no problem. And I guess that's the real determinant of how successful this thing is, because in a year I can go and watch all of those old shows that I'd be interested in. So it's going to really come down to the new stuff that's going to keep me signed up and make me want to renew for the next year. So we shall see. All right, so fellas, we've been talking about Disney Plus, and I want to do this one last time because I'm just so curious on your thoughts on this. So Martin Scorsese has not backed down at all on his diatribe against Marvel not being cinema, and he's just still like, get off my lawn, you crazy kids. And I have a question for you all. Now, maybe this is just me looking a little bit deeper, but one thing I noticed with the Marvel Flash comic book films, they tend to be pretty diverse. So they will have at least one black person in a prominent role, uh, maybe two if we're really like going nuts or crazy. Occasionally we'll have a Latino, Asian guy. Ant-Man and the Wasp was great. It kind of covered so many different minorities in one movie. But I just kind of look like, yeah, that is more representative of movies I want to see. So like a Fast and Furious got a lot of color, and I figured that would be another film that Scorsese would be like, nah, that's not cinema. So I was just curious, and I was like, well, let me look to see if there's a reason why I'm not as excited about seeing The Irishman. I mean, yeah, it's gonna have that casino mob type feel, but I'm looking at the cast and I don't see color like at all. I'm just looking through like the main list of people. There's Dasha Palenka, and I guess she's from Orange Is the New Black, and her role in the film is nurse. She's the only character that I can see in my quick scan through of color, and she didn't even have a name. So I'm just kind of like, do Oscar movies tend to traditionally not have a lot of color? Because I kind of feel like maybe we stumble into one like Moonlight. Maybe we get a Black Panther, or if Beale Street could talk. But I'm just kind of wondering if there is anything to that you guys think where it's like, well, hey, these films are too pandering to all kinds of audiences, where a serious film focuses on more of a certain demographic. I did not see Midway because I was not interested in watching a war movie, where it was just a bunch of white guys and the triumph over the enemy. I'm not interested in seeing Ford versus Ferrari because the trailers had no color. And I understand, hey, there probably weren't a lot of black people around when this whole thing was going on. But I'm kind of also tired of seeing those same stories where it's just a convenient, hey, this story is more interesting. And I don't know, we're starting to get into Oscar season, and I'm finding myself less drawn to the typical Oscar bait films. What do you guys think?
Honestly, I think I think everybody's just tired of seeing like the old white guy movies. It's like, I mean, because like even when they were doing Midway, it's like think about like Pearl Harbor. I don't think people would have gone to see that as much if you didn't see Cuba Gooding Jr. in it. But when you see it's like, hey, we're advertising this as like we know black people fought in World War II. It's like you can't come up with there's no story you could say, oh, that there just weren't black people. Like no, like there is every war in this country has been fought. There's been coloring. Like just so you're trying to make a movie where there's no color. It's just like is for a person of color, it's an instant turn off. It's like so then going to the Irishman. It's like I think Javon said it a couple of weeks ago. We've seen that movie. It could be great, but we've seen the all white cast of mob bosses doing mob like things, and then there's basically going to throw out the occasional N word because they, that's how they thought of us. It's like we don't want to see that anymore. It's just like we have non-cinematic options that have people of color in it. It's like, hey, you say cinema, we say boring as heck joint with no black people. So I don't disagree with you on that. I'm like, unless you say, once you decide, hey, I'm bored and the release of The Irishman is available now that you can watch this 3 hour and 30 minute epic movie after you do your review for LylesMovieFile.com, I'm good.
Javon, what do you think, man?
Of the movies you named, right? And if we're talking about black audiences, right, or minority audiences,
Mm-hmm.
we're tired. One, we're tired of seeing Anglo-centric films. I know I am because that's just not. There are other stories to tell. One, and we got enough stories of white people telling stories about white people, and this is not a racist thing. This is just we would like some inclusion, please. I'd like to see some faces of ethnicity because for what it's worth, we're in all walks of life. We got stories to tell too. We're a part of these stories as well, not just in the background, to fill out a scene. Um, but when these movies you named, none of them, none of their trailers struck me and made me say I have to see that movie. Not even The Irishman, because for one, like I said it again, I'll say it before. We've seen these stories. And we're talking now, these three fine actors that if this were 30 years ago, 25 years ago,
Right.
you'd have been stoked to see this movie.
Yeah.
But that's like hearing that your favorite basketball team just picked up Jason Kidd, Grant Hill, and Chris Webber. I would have been stoked in 1997, yeah. But we're talking 2019. I just don't care. Yeah, that ship has sailed. Midway is another Pearl Harbor story that we don't need. we just we just don't need this. What spin are you going to put on the Pearl Harbor story that we haven't seen before? We just don't care. Ford versus Ferrari. It's more the same. It's another one of these Oscar pandering movies. It's going to be a feel good story. It's going to be some a struggle for the Ford company to keep up with Ferrari. And, although that sounds interesting, if you're a car buff and historian, if that's your thing, you're
Mhm.
going to go see it. Before the average person, you don't really care. I mean, that Formula One, that rate, whatever it was. Hey, interesting if you're in the cars and especially if you're into that particular. But overall, there's just not enough there. I've rarely seen a car racing movie that wasn't completely stupid and over the top like Cannonball Run or Smokey and the Bandit that I cared about. I didn't give a damn about Days of Thunder, really. And like, what was the other one I could think of? Sylvester Stallone's Drive or Driven, whatever the hell that was called. Yuck. Yeah, car racing movies just don't get it for me. And
Yeah,
I'm
dude.
pretty sure a lot of people feel like that.
But put on a Fast and Furious. I'm there all day.
All day, all
All
day.
day. I
We
don't know,
talking.
man. I was watching this movie on Netflix. It's like a teen rom com called Let It Snow, and it had a very diverse cast. It had oh boy Jacob Batalon from Spider-Man, the new series. Uh, it had Shamik Moore from Into the Spider-Verse, who voiced Miles, and it had, I guess you could say the main female lead. She was Latina. Um, then they also had, I don't know, man. It just had a lot of color, and I just felt like 10, 15 years ago, this cast easily would have been all white, and it would have been the same old, same old. But this one, I mean, it was like there was nothing. It wasn't like, oh boy, was Shamik Moore's character was like, yeah, dog, let me do this thing. I mean, there was nothing inherently black about how. I mean, it was totally, he could have been a white guy with
He
no
was a
change in any dialogue.
He was a person, is what you
Exactly,
say.
exactly,
He's just a
exactly.
person.
And I was just like, you know what? This is how they should make more movies, because there's literally nothing here with any of these characters that identifies them with their
The
ethnic background.
ethnicity.
Right.
Yeah.
Nothing. They were just regular people, regular teens trying to have a party. I was like, why can't this be more of the norm? And I love this about Netflix with their original films, because they totally get it. It's not just white guy, white girl, white guy, white girl. It's like, hey, they'll throw in a little bit of everything. They had a lesbian chick, and she was into a Asian lesbian chick. So it was like, we've got diversity all over for you. And it so could have easily been a white cast, and it wasn't. And I was like, you know what? This is what I want to see more of with movies. So when I see this Ford versus Ferrari commercial, I'm like, Please make it stop. I'm so good. I'm so good.
I mean, you just hit on something right there, Jeff. I think with Netflix, the streaming services, with their original content, they're getting it, and they're allowing people to make, they're allowing people to tell diverse stories with a cast that reflects more like what we see in our real day-to-day lives, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, I'm so glad that the last few movies, original movies that I watched on either Netflix or Prime, or shows that I watched on either platform, they haven't had that like stereotypical Indian guy that speaks in the exaggerated Indian accent, or
Yeah.
the yo dog brother that's just like I'm just here to say something. I'm just here to say something ethnic
I'll
and
be
keep it
that black
urban for
guy.
you.
Right.
Yeah,
Keeping it
it's
real.
like, come on, man.
Keeping it
Yeah,
grimy.
keeping it grimy, son. We don't
Yeah.
need that.
No,
We
it
just
is.
don't
It's
need it.
so. I don't know, man. It's really cool to be able to watch and to scroll through Netflix and see. I don't want to watch that movie with that black person. I don't want to watch that movie, but hey, I'll watch this movie with that black person. I don't have to be like, cool, a movie with a black person. Let me watch it.
Ooh, the Black Thug Love. Let me watch that. Nah, I'm good.
Now they do have some of those movies, but
They
it's just
do.
part of the package. It's not. That's I guess
Your
that's the
only option.
right.
It's
I
not your
watched this
only
terrible
option.
movie, Rattlesnake, and I was like, man, uh, Carmen and JoJo was the star on that. She's great. The movie is terrible, but I was like, remember we had the thing like who would make you watch the movie? I was like, yeah, I watched this because she's in it. But gosh, the movie is
hmm
terrible. Yeah, but I was like, you know what? This is just cool because she was in it. She got to be the star in it, and it was Netflix, a Netflix original. And there've been so many Netflix original films that I've watched over the last 2 years that I've reviewed because they have a non-traditional cast in the lead.
Like, would you watch the one with Kristen? If the movie you watch, like Undercover In or whatever, the In movie, would you watch that if Christina Milian was not the lead? It's like, oh, okay, that's a reason that's worth watching.
Undercover In?
What was the one where she was like, it was like the rom com where she won the
Oh,
In.
Falling in Love.
Yeah,
That was way off. I was like, are you
yeah.
trying to say the N word? What are you talking?
I'm like, I don't
No,
remember.
1,000% no. That was another one where I was like, yeah, I'll watch this because Christina Milian is in the lead. Yeah, yeah. But I mean, it's to me, I think that's kind of where we need to see this stuff go. And the Mandalorian had Carl Weathers in it. Not that I was going to avoid watching the Star Wars thing because they didn't have any color. Because I feel like they've always been good about that. Um, but yeah, I saw Carl Weathers in like, the early trailer. It was like, this is so cool. Watch the Action Jackson in this Star Wars. I don't know, but that was my thing. So, let's talk Walking Dead. I'm still loving the show. I am so happy Angela Kang because I see this every time she's on there. I'm so happy she's the showrunner. This thing is so much better. This last week, Negan seems like he's trying to get down with the Whisperers. I feel like maybe this is a twist we're gonna have coming, but I'm very intrigued by this merging of the two biggest villain entities in the entire series. Chief, what'd you think of it?
Oh, it was a good show. It was a good episode. The Negan keeps it humorous. That's for sure. Um, did we talk the week before when my man killed the two kids, the kid and the mother?
No, we did not. Feel free.
Yeah. So I mean, that episode there was. I mean, that episode there I found like it was pretty damn good. Um, and I think that's probably what he needed to go in and realize that there was probably innocent people at the compound. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like like the little girl he likes and things like that. So I mean, ultimately, I think he's gonna turn on them. But it was one of those things. Like, I did enjoy that episode there. And then this, like I said, this last episode, man, I thought it was funny. Beta was like, yeah, he was weak. And then my man comes through with the bat like, hey, where's my breakfast? So, yeah, it was pretty. I thought the episode. And then Carol, man, she's becoming. She's just changing up, man. At this point, I don't think she cares about anything but the revenge. Like, she's. I think she's willing to put everybody at risk to get it. Because it's not like they're not going to notice one of their own gone.
Yeah, Carol's going super low.
Yeah, and then everybody, and then my man came to. He was hiding in the bushes, and they offered the girl a bandage, right?
Aaron, yeah, I know what he's doing.
But the girl was there. The girl was there poisoning the water supply. So
I don't think he understands that. Like,
I thought she was just killing it because she didn't want the bodyguard escort, and that wasn't like I'm trying to poison the water supply. She just
that's why she got like two of. She did two of them because it was basically like
she's killing them in the water.
So they're basically gonna die no matter what. Yeah.
So I'm watching it, and I'm watching everybody get sick, and I'm thinking, well, where the hell is this guy? Like, is he on his way back to be like, hey, don't drink the water, or like he gave the bandage, he disappeared because like everybody's getting sick now from drinking the water, and I'm like, and this dude just disappeared from the episode. I don't know, he's out there in the woods still handing out bandages. I don't know, where the hell are you? So, the one thing I did notice about, well, maybe not so much, but a little bit of this episode, but a little bit of every episode is they had like a skeleton crew working. Like, if you think about the Flash episode, like, the rest of them took the day off. Like, you guys only got to come to work one day this week. This is going to be Cisco by himself. And then I watched like Supergirl or something else, and they had like half the crew missing. And I was like, damn, this is just like, I was like, where the hell is everybody? Like, they got a midweek vacation, a mid-thing vacation.
You're jumping all ahead, man.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, we're gonna hit those CW shows in a second. What else do you think about Walking Dead?
Well, the thing about Walking Dead was the reason why I tied in is because I'm like, okay, a lot of people was missing from this episode. So I was thinking to myself, well, even if they didn't have a part, you usually see people like a lot of the main characters were gone. So,
what's interesting about that? I kind of noticed that too, because it felt like, hey, there's no Michonne, there's no Ezekiel. The Whisperers killed off, 10 people, put their heads on the sticks, and it still feels like they have a million people still running around where we can't focus on everybody in one episode. And I guess with the communities, that's okay, but it does feel kind of weird where it's like, hey, Ezekiel, what's up with that lump on your throat? I guess we'll have to find out next week.
Like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, they had the characters in for a minute, and then, like, they just got a vacation or something. Like, yeah, listen, we just need you to shoot one day. And so that Walking Dead episode reminded me of the other two episodes. That's all. That the characters weren't, like, the main characters weren't really around these weeks. They didn't come around. So,
like, we need a vacation,
I don't know.
fellas.
Right. That's why I was just like, where the hell is everybody?
J. King, what do you think about this episode?
Well, I know. I feel like Negan's he's playing them. Negan may have been a spike bat or a barbed wire bat wielding creep with a leather jacket that talk like people don't talk. But the thing about Negan is he had a cold. and he's a man of life. These people are repressed monsters wearing the skin of the dead. They're weird. There's no way in the hell I think he would want to side up with them to be anything amongst that team, other than the guy that brought them down. I don't think there's any allegiance there. He's playing them full scope. Um, I, other than that, I just want to know what the hell the three communities, or the two communities now. What's the end game here? Like, what are we doing here? Are we preserving a peace against a group that is obviously starting war with you? Have you learned nothing? Like, you've been through this already. You're going to have to fight. And not for nothing. Why are we still doing a two communities thing? Like, why are we still, I mean, seriously, why are we wasting the resources and having to go through the dangerous trek between communities, um, to have two communities? It just doesn't make sense. Just build a mega city in Alexandria and let that be that. I mean, what are we doing here? Um, Alpha's daughter. Why is the preservation of her life so important? Take her to Alpha to kill her. Start it. If you're gonna start a war, start a war. Let's get it. I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. You take the war to them. What are they really gonna do? They have a horde of walkers. Okay, we got a horde of people. Look, we're going to come out of this one way or the other, but I'm not going to kowtow to some bald woman that looks like Jim Norton. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm sorry. Um, Other
You
than
are
that,
reckless.
man, hey, look it. Look, my methodology would have lost less life than theirs. At least we'd have lost life fighting as opposed to just waiting to be killed. And like Chief said, what about the affable club arm dope that's just out there passing out bandages, never to be seen again? What's your game? What's the game here? I don't understand it. It's not that it's bad. It's not that this is a bad show again. It's just I don't understand what our heroes are doing right now.
I
I
don't know.
think their preservation of peace is kind of fruitless right now.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Jace, what's your take on things?
Well, I'm gonna pretty much co-sign with Javon. I think Negan is like, all right, you guys don't know how to win this war without Rick, so I'm going to show you how to win this war. Like using my code. Like these guys are
There it
scum.
is.
They're all scum. They all should be dead. It's like that's it. It's like you guys trying to act. You mean trying to have a peace treaty with a bunch of people who will never follow it? It's like you just know. You're just like, hey, these people are sick individuals, and there's no mental health facilities in Alexandria, the beach, or wherever the heck. I mean, whatever the hill. It's like, no, you have to understand. It's like these people have to go. This is not. I mean, and I understand. There's a part of them that's probably like, we need to show that as a society, we are better than just going from war to war to war. But
It's been 9 years.
again, they're still scarred from the Negan wars. It's like they lost a lot from that. Then they just wanted peace. They wanted a generation to be born without war. But it's like conflict is in our nature, and with a giant horde, it's like the easiest way, honestly, like kind of like you lead them to the quarry and just burn the whole dang on quarry. I mean, you don't need to. I mean, with a horde of zombies, especially like these aren't like Dawn of the Dead zombies. It's like, yeah, they'll come at you straight ahead completely, but it's like you make a giant moat or some crap. I mean, you set enough traps, they're gone. They don't mean you don't have to be super strategic. I mean, and then anybody who's avoiding a trap, hey, guess what? We just shoot them in the leg and have the zombies, destroy them. So each one of the whisperers that gets taken out, they don't have that many people. They don't have that many bodies. The whisperers. It's like, I mean, like even when Carol saw Alpha the first time, it's like, if you just shoot her in the leg, she's gonna make a sound, and then all that lovely horror will come and eat her, or they're gonna have to make defensive move. I mean, eventually they're gonna lose people. It's like they're sneakier than they are, but all you have to do is you have the advantage of the actual numbers of people. Just use a little bit of intelligence, and you should be able to win.
Thank you, Jason.
It took us too long to get good villains on the show again. I'm willing to let them.
I mean that's the thing. It's like I'm willing to let that play out because it is. It's like if you are kind of like if you're Michonne, like this is the first war we might be fighting without Rick. Like Red Rick, when it was Alexandria was going down, he's the one who rallied us. When the great battle at the bridge, it was Rick who took on the saviors and took on all those great, took out a million zombies. Like, yeah, I get that, but somebody has to. I mean, that's you got to figure out. All right, we need the next person to step up. Like, but
somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, it's like somebody has to figure out who's going to be the next alpha of Alexandria, Hilltop, or the beach. Like,
and you know, Jeff, as good as Alpha and Beta are as actors, I'll say this as actors, they're great, right? Them as the baddies, you
don't buy them?
No, because with little Jim Norton, I would have just pounded her head into the dirt.
No, because she's frightening. Because she was
Alpha is as frightening as an angry toddler.
No. You see, you also forget the PTSD that these folks would be feeling. The fact that Alpha invaded their community, put on a wig, and nobody knew anybody, and literally got like 20 of their people.
Well, that was an exposure of who they had become, what they had allowed themselves to become. I'm gonna tell you this: if you give me Carol and Alpha in a room, Carol's coming out on top.
Oh, yeah,
you give me Michonne and Alpha in a room, Michonne is coming out on top.
I'm giving Michonne and Beta. I'm putting the numbers to Michonne. So,
I look at somebody. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, but if you think they took their kids, it wasn't like they took a whole bunch of it. I mean, they did take adults, but they took their kids. And it's like
children.
That's gonna make them a little more hesitant to start an open war.
Well, this is the thing. Like you said, without Red Rick, man, Red Rick, that is a declaration of war. Everybody has to die.
Carl.
Everyone has to. Carl.
Yeah, I mean, Rick was a patient man. I mean, it's like, even though we hated when it took him to get to the point where he knew the Saviors have to go, but it was like, I'm willing to play this game until the numbers really stop working in our favor. We just need to build Alexandria up enough so when it's time, we can actually get rid of this dude. But now they don't have anybody. It's like, no, they got to leave here.
Yeah, they don't have that.
They really don't have that. Carol.
No, Carol's not gonna wait for anybody. Carol is not a leader of men. Carol is just a woman of action. She's like, I took out Terminus by myself. I don't need y'all.
True.
So we'll see. I look at the great baddie, and I hate to keep hopping on the governor, but the governor was a great baddie.
He was. He absolutely was.
He really was.
Who do you think was the last? Negan?
I don't even say Negan was a better bad guy. You know why?
If Angela Kang had written Negan, it would be Negan.
It would have been Negan. It would have been better, I think. It would have been better. They just kept making Negan out to be this cartoon character.
Yeah.
And that's not
that now.
Yeah, they have. Yes, they have. Under Gimple, Negan was a cartoon character. He was just a jackass in a leather jacket with a bat, just coming up with quips. Just coming up with quips. Put on your shitting pants, folks. It's like, we don't need that out of him, dude. You got a fine actor here. Let him sink his teeth into his character and not write this terrible dialogue.
Definitely done that now, so it's totally different.
He's very much. Negan was written the way they had Scott Gimple up. He was written like a comic book character. It's like, oh my gosh, can you die?
Yeah, Yeah, we could definitely see how that would have been
Oh
different
man,
if Angela King was on it. All right, so let's move
definitely.
fast here because Chief brought it up and I want to tackle them real quick. Crisis is coming to the Arrowverse, and we're actually starting to see teasers, like a literal 15-second teaser of Crisis on Infinite Earth, which is less than a month away now. Every picture, every image I'm seeing has me more excited. I think they're done with the obvious casting announcements and reveals so far, but I expect a few more surprises when we actually get to Crisis. But Flash and Arrow are really on a good path now because they're focusing on Crisis. They're not, oh shoot, we've got that big crossover next week. I guess we should mention something about it. They've devoted every episode so far this season to Crisis, which means that when it actually arrives, it's going to have far more importance than a typical, hey, everybody's here in the same room. Awesome. Only thing I don't like is that Mia is now in the current continuity of the major or current Arrow timeline because I can't stand Mia's terrible acting and just awful attitude in general. But other than that, I'm really enjoying them. Chief, you had some issues with the Cisco focused episode. I would also like to say I was very upset we did not get to see more of Iris and her vacation.
I mean, it wasn't so much the episode of Cisco, man. I was just, it's the Flash. So when he's not on there, uh, you tend to notice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
And he was
true.
there the first 5 minutes of the episode. Not even that really. He just came in. He was like, "Yo, we're headed out," and then
Did
pretty
you
much
see
he was
Iris?
gone.
Did you see Iris?
Right.
Just I'd have been out too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel you
So
because that was all the last season on Flash. Hey, Nora, I'll be right back. Can you handle this situation? Oh, gee, Dad, I don't know, but I'll figure it out. Oh no.
I do miss Noah.
Yes, yes, indeed. Nora,
Oh
my
man,
principal.
bring her back,
Right.
Nora.
We'll probably see her in Crisis, so hold out some hope, and maybe we'll have Kid Flash with a haircut.
Oh, whoa, whoa,
Oh
whoa!
no,
That's not gonna happen.
That's me going
I
too
don't
far.
want to
So
see
Yep.
Kid Flash.
No,
you
he's
miss
not.
Kid
He's not
Flash.
gonna be in. He
Yeah, I
actually said
know,
he wasn't gonna be in
which is so
Crisis.
odd, but yeah.
Well,
Maybe they should recast him if he doesn't want to show up for something like that.
in Crisis would be the best time to recast anybody. It's like you could
Yeah.
just say he's the Flash, Kid Flash of another world. Especially because Crisis basically takes Barry Allen off the board.
Spoilers.
Oh wait, I hate to say that. It's only been out for 30 years. I'm sorry.
Hey man, some of us are revisiting Crisis. Uh, but I've not watched. I've kind of chilled out for press the pause button on watching Supergirl and Batwoman.
What?
Fellas, can you help me? What have I missed on these shows?
Lonnie, go.
Gosh, there's some serious silence. Hey Chief, man, you watching Supergirl and Batwoman? I mean, you're supposed to be our correspondent
Uh,
on this front.
well, I haven't watched. You know what? I've DVR'd like 6 episodes of Batwoman. I haven't watched a single episode. Now, Supergirl, I did watch. Uh, so watching this Luther, just I mean, it was if I recall now, if I recall because we hadn't talked last year, if I recall, it kind of shows why she goes so hard in the paint when she's betrayed. Um, and
We're talking
that's
about like
because
this week.
of.
You're talking about this week's episode.
Well, I guess it was. I can't remember if it was this week's or last week. I mean, dude, come on, man.
This week
You
was
know
like
my
the
life,
the
man.
saga of her betrayal of all of
Yeah,
the
but
people who
that's what
betrayed
I'm
her.
saying.
Yeah.
So if that's this week, then you know why she is going so hard against um
Kara.
Andrea.
Car and them because people have been lying to her. But in I feel like some lies are, well, not even lies, but some things are not. You don't tell everybody everything all the time. So I don't, she's mad that they didn't share, but I'm like, you are Luther. Like, they, you know what I mean? And
But
eventually they did come clean.
well,
Like,
wait a minute. The thing is, like, they had her like helping out with all these little projects, all these secret things that Mr. 31st Century can't do somehow because whatever. So they invite her into all the DEO and all this other stuff, and then it's like, oh yeah, Supergirl, yeah, shit, that's the chick you've been talking to. Huh, who knew?
Yeah, but it's okay. You know what I mean? Like, if I know you guys, and if one of you guys became a superhero or were a superhero or something, and you didn't tell me, I wouldn't be like, you know what? I needed to know this. I was like, oh, that's what's up. I was like, well, tell me the story.
I
Like,
feel what's really
what I mean?
happening is you are a superhero and you're trying to lay the groundwork for why you haven't told us you're a hero.
Well, I'm not gonna tell you that. It's better if you don't know. Some things are just better. You know what I mean?
I knew it.
Plausible deniability. And it just they can put you on a lie detector test. You don't know anything. And like I said, with this whole Lena Luthor thing, it was a good episode. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if you think about last week's episode with Lena Luthor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, the rest of the cast wasn't in it. It was a Lena Luthor episode.
But that actually helped it.
Well, I'm saying that they did a Flash joint where Flash wasn't in it. They did a Supergirl where Supergirl wasn't in it. They did a Walking Dead where the main, some of the main characters wasn't in it. I'm just saying that they did this thing where people weren't in it. But it was still a good episode. I found the episode was still a good episode. So in the end, you find out why she's just this wild beast. But I'm interested to see what she's got cooked up. I mean, she's gonna get a revenge on the old girl, and I was wondering why she treated the old girl, like she did that time when she was like, "It's my company, you do it," So now we know that she dogged her, and she turned her boyfriend into, I don't know what the hell he was, some kind of
it's Leviathan used
assassin.
Yeah, Leviathan got pissed at the girl for not killing the person, so as payback they changed her boyfriend into the assassin.
But who changed her? Was it Lena involved in that?
No, that was Leviathan. That was Leviathan, who is the slow burning villain of this season.
Because she seems like she's got her hands in a lot of different pots. She knows a lot about a lot for somebody who just turned evil. You know what I'm saying?
So she's embraced this heel turn.
No.
Right,
she's doing the straight Luther thing. I am not the villain here. I am trying to help the world by doing some questionable things.
Like you know what I mean? Like tomorrow, if I wake up and I'm like, you know what? I'm evil now, but I know how to get on the dark web, and I know where the best guns, who's got the best guns in the city to buy from. You know what I mean? Like, how the hell would I know that all of a sudden? If I go out to 37th and Eli, yeah, I can meet up with Donovan. He's got the best coke in the city. Like, how did I know that? Just waking up. Like, that's how Lena Luthor is. She's mixed up in a whole lot of things off top. And I'm like, damn, Lena, you just turned evil at the beginning of the season. Like, you just stayed up late nights just reaching out to people? I don't know. But she's at the top of most of these things here nowadays. At least we didn't have to deal with Brainiac. Can someone please explain to me how him and Supergirl hook up later on?
That is not in this world. That's not in this world. Like that is an Earth. That is an Earth where Kingdom Come Superman is. That's the universe where Brainiac and Supergirl hook up. Not this one.
Brainiac, which when someone says Brainiac, would you would assume that person is smart. So we have a Brainiac who is unsmart, right? Because dude is not smart at all. We have a Martian manhunter who couldn't hunt down a rabbit in a room.
Oh, Chief, how much did you like that fight season this week? With Martian Manhunter?
You know what, man? I hate every time Martian Manhunter they have a fight. Sometimes I think they should just make him run. Like, it would be better if he just ran away because he's going to get beat. Like, he doesn't win any fights. He never wins. Like, Martian Manhunter against somebody, that person gets away.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
It's even more funny because he is fighting. Martian Manhunter is fighting a human who can kind of blend in with shadows. Martian Manhunter.
He's got Martian vision.
Martian Manhunter could do everything almost that Superman / Supergirl can do, but he magically gets punished and thrown in the cell by a human who could just turn into shadows.
They punked him out from day one.
It doesn't make sense, man. Like they're not aware of the powers of the people they write for.
Oh no. Like they're aware of Supergirl's power. Everybody else
not,
is.
Dude. The grass healed Supergirl last season. Don't ever forget. You know what I mean? The grass, not the sun came out. It was nighttime when she died, and the grass was like, "No, Supergirl, you cannot die." And the grass came and healed her. I laid in the grass for several months after that to see if I felt better, and I still hurt. So there's no grass. I don't know where the grass thing is coming from. The blue star, which is supposed to make Supergirl even more powerful than what she is. Like, they're not reading. They are clearly not reading. They are actually brainiacking the comic books because they have no idea what the hell's going on.
Maybe they need to check out the DC Universe app. Read some Supergirl episodes.
Well, yeah, maybe. They can only read one comic a week. But, but, yeah, like I said, it wasn't a bad episode last week, even without the rest of the crew. But, yeah, I just wish they would just do, like I said, man, they need to make, man, Martian Manhunter needs I don't know, he needs something, man. He needs a win.
All right.
His brother, his brother who was locked up all of his life comes down and beats him. How the hell are you not using your powers for all your life, and then you get out, and then you're beating the hell out of somebody who's been using their powers? Yeah. So we got to figure these things out, man. We got to see what's going on here. I hope this crisis kills everybody. We can be done with it. I can free my Sunday and Tuesday nights up.
All right. Let me go real fast here. One of my friends on Facebook posted, I'm sure this is something that's been all over. One Gotta Go, and all their work and their affiliates. It's 4 of them. Number 1, Outkast. Number 2, Bone Thugs and Harmony. Number 3, NWA. And 4, Wu-Tang Clan. I'm going to hear from you in a second. Which one's got to go?
Repeat, please.
All right. Outkast, Bone Thugs and Harmony, NWA, and Wu-Tang Clan. That means you can't listen to any of their music and any of their spin-off acts.
Bone Thugs and Harmony.
All right. Jace?
Okay. I'm probably going to agree. Yeah, because I at least have Outkast albums versus Bone Thugs. I had the double CD and that was it. So I think I got to go with Outkast. I mean, I got to go with Bone's got to lead the group.
All right. Chief, how about you?
I said your friend got to go.
the unknown answer E.
Damn it! If I had to get rid of one, jeez. I guess it would be between Bone and Wu-Tang, but
That's a lot of acts.
And the only reason why I say Wu-Tang because their first album? The first album was was fire.
Mm-hmm.
But my complaint about Wu-Tang, and always will be my complaint, and I'm from New York, is that these cats make up words. No one can tell me they don't. They don't make up words. Oh man, she had a fitty with her Smitty. I was just giddy, and I was like, what? What? Well, fitty with her Smitty? What the hell is that? So yeah, them cats make up words. Now, Bone Thugs, you just can't understand that word. You know what I mean? But that Busy Bone sure is melodic. Yeah. Cream.
I mean,
versus cream, ice cream.
You lose all of Raekwon first album.
All the Jizza. Cuban links.
Yeah. And Jizza. Liquid Swords.
Liquid Swords to Cow.
I will give losing to Cow except for Bring the Pay. A couple others.
Takal had like 2 or 3. Yeah.
PLO style. I gotta give it.
It's like 3 or 4 songs. Liquid Swords and
That's a classic. That's all the way through. All the way through.
Yeah, you just play through. Just play and let it go.
Only Built for Cuban Links is also on that. Yeah, just let it play.
Yeah, but see, that's them as separate.
Like, but that counts.
That's what's part of it. Like NWA would be, you couldn't listen to Eminem, you couldn't listen to Ice Cube, you couldn't listen to Dr. Dre, you couldn't listen to Snoop. I mean, NWA is untouchable on that list. Like, that's just hip hop.
So are you giving okay, so all right, so if that's how we're going, because Bone didn't really, like, they did an individual choice, but it wasn't. So I'll get rid of Bone then if you're counting their works, even has individuals in there.
Yeah.
Then you gotta get rid of Bone, because together they were a monster, and then solo not so much.
I'm gonna go super rogue and say Outkast, because Bone did songs with Tupac and Big.
Outkast.
Outkast. Who's there?
I know everybody has to, every card carrying black dude loves Outkast, but I've always been like, I mean, I like their stuff, but it's not like, I know. I'm
out, man. This is my last night on the cast, y'all. It's been good, man.
Every so often, I have to just throw in some unpopular thing, and that's just my unpopular thing.
Listen, if you listen to, like, She Lives in My Lap, it's like, that double CD was not the greatest thing that everybody acted out like, but She Lives in My Lap, Big Boy's kind of like his good ones, like Outkast and like the Southern Play illicit Cal Fried Music. I mean, their stuff is better. It's like, for their stuff is better than the stuff you hear on the radio.
Your cousin.
Yeah.
I didn't say they didn't have songs that I liked that were good. I'm just saying, if I had to, the Tupac and Big songs. I mean, geez, Notorious Thugs, Thug Love, First of the Month. I mean, those.
Jeff, I want you to remember this and then talk to early 90s Jeff when he heard First of the Month.
That's because that was the only song the radio could play. Now, as a working dude, I understand that song and the pain of waiting till the first of the month to cash that check and come on.
Now, also, I think it's because you hear the quality of music today and you're like,
gosh,
well, I
absolutely.
can far more.
I remember the first time I heard For the Love of Money. For the love of money.
Hey, dude. Oh, jeez. Oh, man. What's the joint on Set It Off? Days of Our Lives.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
I just have
I could have missed that one. I could have missed that one. Break down.
Yeah.
I could have missed the Herb Alpert sample from Set It Off. One of their most underrated joints was It's an everyday thing, and let your nuts
You let your
hang.
nuts
Yeah, I
hang.
mean,
That
Yeah.
was off that album with
That was,
Big
what was it? The show. The show.
what was that?
The
The
show
show album.
soundtrack. Yeah, the show soundtrack.
Yeah, dude, that was a good soundtrack. Big had a hell
Yes,
of a
it
song on
was.
that too.
Yeah, he did.
Oh,
all right, so that was good. That
yeah.
was a little bit better than I thought. All right, let's go into this now as we wind this episode down because I have a choice. I'm very curious if you all have any nominees for Dummies of the Week.
Mm,
I have a
mm.
big one. If you like, I can start off.
Please.
Go ahead.
Okay. Mine is whoever is responsible at People Magazine for naming John Legend America's most sexiest man or the sexiest man alive. This is patently untrue. This is false.
The
You
only
found
person
another man
voting was
sexier?
the
What'd
only
you say?
person voting was Christy Teigen.
Hey Jeff, who's your sexiest guy alive?
Probably me. I'm just like, dude, how have you guys don't watch The Voice, right? I mean, I'm safe in that assumption.
Jeff, last year Blake
You
Shelton was
quite
number one,
safe.
right?
He
I tend
was,
to keep my
but I
testicles
mean,
with me.
oh man, G. All right, so that's my nominee for Dummy of the Week. The fine folks at People Magazine for nominating John Legend. Anybody got any other options here?
I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with this whole Popeye's chicken extravaganza. Like, dude, you're going to have to carry your gun in a Popeye's chicken nowadays, dude. Like this past week, I
Jeez.
seen a dude. You saw the dude body slam old girl. Like,
No, dude.
listen,
No.
listen. In this
No.
day and
See
age,
the
That
white
is
man
true.
get beat.
listen, man. Listen. I get being a black person and hearing somebody call you a nigger is not what you want. I mean, especially if they hard R it. You know what I mean? That Tony Tiger makes it even worse. You know what I mean? Like, you really spitting that venom at me when you hard R it. But even so, even if you call me that, it doesn't affect me to the point where I am going to lose my job over it or punch you in your face over it. Now, if you like, you nigger, and you grab me, now we're talking about a whole different story. You put your hands on me. But just saying words to me has never affected me. You can't hurt me with your words. Now, he was in the restaurant, something happened, some white lady called him a nigger. You know what I mean? At that point in time, you'd be like, you know what, ma'am? I refuse to serve you. Have a nice day. You could have done that. Instead, he follows her out into the parking lot, picks her up, slams her on her head. Now, I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Nothing. Let's
Hey,
go
well,
further.
she's not going to call him that again.
Well, no, she's not going to call him that again, but now he has ruined the rest of his life because she's going to sue him for everything he's got. She's going to sue that Popeyes. So she's come up after she finishes with her injuries. And he's going to do some time for that. So you lost.
No, man, he's just going to say he stood his ground.
No. So you can't slam no white woman on no concrete ground nowhere in America still. So then, earlier in the week, there was this other dude in there. And he's like, you niggers. And then
What Popeyes is this?
It was a white dude, so he's like, you niggers. And then he's like, so he's walking out the store, he's like, get out of my way, niggers. And so the next time you see him, he's out in front of the Popeyes getting his ass whooped and robbed of his chicken sandwich.
Kind of feel like that's
And
what
I'm
he
like,
had coming.
He's not just getting his ass whooped. He's on the ground profusely apologizing. It was like Diddy when he said, look, I got kookaroos. I'm straight. Y'all ain't got no kookaroos. He ain't had no chicken sandwiches when he was on the ground yelling for his apologies. Yelling his apologies out. Now you got no chicken sandwiches and you getting your ass whooped.
there's been several more instances. I saw, like there's been several more instances. Like I'm like, they've been going crazy in that joint, yo. They are wilding.
They like that sandwiches.
And
They love that chicken from Popeyes.
no, but this is I still haven't had the chicken sandwich. So, and to be honest with you, at this point in time of my life, I don't even want it because
I don't want that shit.
I don't want something that makes you that crazy over it. You know what I mean? Like the first time I heard, you know how when like drugs come out, and the first time I heard about, the first time I heard, when I understood crack, and I knew that crack made another dude service another dude in order to get more of it, I knew I was never going to try it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's something like that I don't need.
No,
So,
totally.
You know what I'm saying? So
anything that make people bug out like that, I don't want it.
Exactly. So if the chicken sandwich makes you crazy, I don't need to have it. I'm not interested in your chicken sandwich. I'm not interested in something that's going to make me go crazy in order to have some more of it. I don't deal with women like that. You know what I mean? First of all, the dude be like, man, it should be the best you ever had. No, thank you. Because I'm not going to go crazy over it. If I can't walk away from something, I don't want it.
In 30 seconds or less, right?
Yes, sir. It's 60 seconds or less. Going in 60 seconds. I'm Nick Cage. So
you're not gonna be Al Pacino. No, Robert De Niro.
Right, I'm not gonna be Sam
Sam
Rothstein. You know what I mean? You're not gonna put no ginger on me. And so this chicken thing is crazy, dude. I mean, the dude cuts in line. They go outside. So the dude cuts in line. They're like, yeah, man, you cut in front of me. Well, let's go outside and talk about it. Well, let's go outside then. Well, take this knife, take this blade. It's just too many. What is Popeyes doing PR wise? You know what I mean? Because if you think about it, who the hell wants to go on a Popeyes now?
Hey man, you just go to the drive-thru. Keep your head on the swivel.
You saw them drive. Have you seen the drive-thru lines?
Nah, dude. Nah, I'm not doing. I actually got a chicken. It was pretty decent, but I'm not doing any lines for a chicken sandwich.
They're waiting upwards of an hour to get a chicken sandwich.
It's not happening.
Now imagine waiting in that line. You get up to the thing, and they're like, "There's no more chicken sandwiches." Like, people are bugging out. So yeah. So my dummy of the week is definitely this whole Popeye saga. I've never seen anything like it, man. I've never seen like people go crazy over chicken, white and blacks alike. This is not just black people going crazy over chicken. You know what I mean? This is, it's wild. So yeah.
Hey man, that's a solid choice. All right, J. King, what you got?
I got two. Being that we on this chicken sandwich, I got one more caveat to this chicken sandwich thing. The people who, and I think this was Virginia, who were recording the Popeyes workers making the chicken sandwiches on a large cookie sheet or whatever over the trash can. I say, look, when you pay $5 for your food, I don't expect Wolfgang Puck to be back there making anything. It's like, look, they're making in under 4 minutes something that it would take you an hour to make in your own kitchen. If they're not making this on the floor, you should be happy. I don't expect much with fast food. I've worked fast food. I don't expect much. You don't want to know what goes on behind the curtain. You really don't. Just enjoy your stupid sandwich and shut up about it.
Fellas, I think that's going to do it for us on this one. We are going to be back next week better than ever. We're going to break down the winter preview of all of these so-called Oscar contenders to see where they stand and to see if you guys are interested in watching any of them. So keep that in mind for next week. We'll wrap it up and we will chop it up. That is it for this episode. Thank you guys for joining me as always. Thank y'all for tuning in and listening. This episode of Lyle's Movie Files has been filed.